4, 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome to Kingdom of Honor Does Pop Culture. I'm your host, Zandman Shane Sabunia, along with my good buddy, the Honorable Jeff.
Hello.
My notebook just closed. Hope I didn't lose you guys.
I'm still here.
I saw Jeff earlier today. My puppy chewed my laptop charger cord right in half. So we tried to splice it, didn't work. So I'm on my notebook for the first time ever. So if the sound quality is any different or anything like that, I apologize. But I gotta do what I can until I get my new charger in the mail on Friday. So
Which means tomorrow night's show and Wednesday's show.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
It doesn't sound bad now, but I know it did when we first called. So
yeah.
But
And
regardless,
we're trying to manipulate to YouTube screen and the OBS screen and all that stuff in my notebook. So it'll be a blast.
Regardless, back to what we are talking about.
Yeah, and you had mentioned on the last. I don't know if this is a situation we start at the ending or not, but I mean, you had mentioned on the last show that we did last Monday that you loved it through the first 9 episodes, and then it was a little shaky after the 10th. And I completely understand what you mean, because I watched that 10th episode, and like 20 minutes into it, I was like, wait, that's it? And then the last 20 minutes, I was like, okay, that's the most convoluted plan I've ever seen in my life.
Well, I mean,
and also it's like, it ends up with Gabe, that Gabe is actually one of Dodge's personalities as well. Well, then where the hell's the real Gabe at then? Because he's been in that town longer than 6 months,
Well, here's the thing that got me. The I just lost my train of thought. The whole purpose was to get the key and get that door open.
Right.
So the door was open.
Right. So why not just attack all the kids then?
Yeah. Why not reveal yourself?
Hold them in front of the door, and because then the key was no longer in a Locke's hand. Dodge could have just taken it out of the door if she whatever it is needed to, and could have held the kids in front of that door to have those bullets to all turn them all into demons.
Yeah, I mean, it was not. It was like I said last week. It was the perfect Stephen King ending. Because he's an amazing writer, an absolutely amazing writer. Has written.
This is his son. This is not Stephen King writing this. This is his son Joe Hill.
Well, yeah, and that's where I'm making the comparisons. I mean, Stephen King is an amazing storyteller, an amazing writer. Obviously, all the stuff that he's written, but that man cannot write a great ending to save his life. I mean, It was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. The original It. I saw it when it was brand new out. I was 18 years old and everything, and scared the living hell out of me. I was afraid of crowns for decades after that. And
I still am.
That ending. Oh yeah, I'm still petrified. But that ending where it ended up being a big spider was one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. It was such a disappointment. And every other Stephen King movie, it kind of does the same thing, where it's so great, so great, so great, and then there's a weird little thing that happens at the end and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, my friend Chelsea texted me a week ago, and she was like, "Is it true there's a new Stephen King short story collection out?" And I said, "Yeah, it's called." And now it's out of my head, but I told her what it was called, and
it's called Great Story, Bad Endings.
No, but I responded and I said, hot take: Stephen King is better at short fiction than he is at novels, because his short fiction is nice and tight. It's got a good beginning, middle, and it's got a nice third act with a solid ending to it. But he always has these meandering endings to his novels where he tries to tie everything up into a nice little bow, and and the climax is like 100 pages before the book actually ends, and it's really frustrating. I mean, I'm a big Stephen King fan. I enjoy his prose, I enjoy his stories, but the way he ends things often leaves a lot to be desired.
Yeah, I mean, my biggest problem with it was, and as soon as I realized, and I realized right away after, they found out that one chick was missing, I'm like, I bet she used the key somehow and changed her into looking like her and everything, looking like Echo.
Oh, absolutely,
yeah. Everything, so I saw that coming from a mile away. But
Well,
then,
it was also fishy right away when they said, well, where they were like, well, where's the crown? I was wondering exactly the same thing. Where's the crown? And they were like, who cares?
yeah,
You
that
know.
was the other thing too that just was it was. But they're like, yeah, who cares, whatever. And then all of a sudden, um, it turns out that it was Gabe, and the only thing I kept thinking about was why the hell all Echo wanted was to open that black door. The black door was wide open. Why not take advantage of it now? What kind of master plan are you trying to do when you had access to all of the keys because they were all in the possession of Locks at that point? She had all those people she could have turned into demons. She could have opened the black door. She had the black crown. She had literally everything that she needed.
Hmm.
And to
And and
just let it
and
go was
and I get the feeling that if Gabe had just said, Dodge posing as Gabe, if Gabe had just said, Kinsey, well, why don't I grab the key and open the door, and then you guys, push it shut? I'm sure she would have been fine with that.
oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was like that's why I said it was like one of the most convoluted plans, and plus it, like you said, it didn't even get what her stated ultimate goal was anyway. Because I mean, unless her goal was only to get one more demon on this side, which makes no sense whatsoever, I don't get it.
I mean, and the story was great up until that 10th episode. When they and I was sitting there thinking, this can't be this easy. Why are they, are they going to Buffy us and have the ending, the big bad gets their comeuppance, and then we have an episode wrap-up show? Because that's kind of the way it felt, was that was it was going to be a Buffy type ending where the ending is all happy and them just kind of relaxing after getting rid of the big bad, and that's unfortunately kind of what I was thinking they were going with. But it was still maddening, especially when I found out that Gabe was actually Echo.
I'm also going to just disagree with you a little bit and say that the ending of episode 9 was where I started going like, what? Because why in the world would the same person that's going to get the crown have the
Right.
key for the crown with them?
Yeah, I thought that too. That was one of those things that really jumped out at me. It's like, well, okay, why is she bringing? And I thought that when she put it in her pocket, and she's like, I'll go get the crown. Why are you letting her walk out with it? Why is not one of these people who have been so intelligent and such great characters this entire show? Why isn't one of you saying, hey, you know what? Maybe we should hold on to that.
You gonna go outside, Rhaegar? Sorry. Come on, Rhaegar. Oh, you peed on the floor already.
Yeah.
Oh, too late.
This is why I don't have a puppy.
No, you just have a cat that attacks you and goes in heat and.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong there.
Yeah,
So I
and there was also that that kind of like Chekhov's gun thing in it too, where what's his face, Rufus, and I kind of feel like they just said this to kind of like throw us a red herring there too.
was
But
his name
I don't know about you,
Rufus?
but when Rufus picked up the head key at the end of that episode before they went to go get the crown, that kind of made me think, well, wait, is Rufus actually Dodge?
No, I never once thought it
And
was that he
but I
was,
mean,
but
but I
as
mean, him
soon as
having the head key did nothing other than him giving it the Bodhi at the end. So like him having the head key really didn't factor into it at all.
I didn't think that he was Dodge, but I thought that, the second I saw his mom not there, I was like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm guessing that the identity key got used, and that's why he doesn't. Or the thing that bugs me is who passes out 10 minutes after they get a hit to the head.
Hmm.
Because when you saw the flashback, and don't get me wrong, I'm not, this was an amazing show. I can't wait for season 2 to see how it goes. I love the character development. I loved, so much about this. But the last, episode and a half or episode maybe 10 minutes was so just not what I guess what I was expecting. But the fact that like Rufus got thrown through that table. There was the reveal of the shadow of the shadows and all that stuff. Then there was him turning himself into the lady, into Echo. I can't remember his name, but
Dodge.
yeah, Dodge turning herself back to Echo, or
Right.
back to the female, and then he passed out after that. All that stuff happened, and he passed out then, right before he changed his mom into looking like himself, or herself, or whatever.
Yeah.
And she did kind of explain it, that it was her old boyfriend.
Right.
That Echo was her old boyfriend, that she came back. So Dodge is not
Well,
really the chick.
it was the demon
That,
version of her dead boyfriend.
yeah, the demon version of what, I can't remember his name now.
Lucas.
Lucas, yeah. No,
But
Lucas is the kid.
Dodge was her nickname for him when he was on the fencing team.
Wasn't Lucas the kid?
Lucas was the best friend of Rendell.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But and so when he came back as the demon form, not Lucas, which is her fault because she went to the wishing well and made it so that he could be brought to life, or brought back to life.
Right.
And then it so I guess it's a he, I guess, who just uses the key to make himself look like that woman.
Well, it's a demon. I don't think you can really say it's a he or she's. The body that he originally inhabited was a female, but I don't think demons actually have genders. So.
Well, tell that to the supernatural kids. Because remember Meg?
I do remember Meg, but there's also been demons on there that change genders as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Like I said, I really liked it. I really liked the show. I would definitely rewatch the show. Absolutely, and I can't wait for season 2. Just that final episode was so underwhelming that it kind of took everything away. It reminded me a lot of Jessica Jones, except for Jessica Jones had 8 great episodes, then 4 bad episodes. This had 8.5 great episodes, and an episode and a half that were really good, but some continuity issues. Otherwise, it was a great season.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I just thought episode 10 there should have been more to it. Like, they could have, and the thing was, it was actually the shortest episode of the series too. It was only 40 minutes long. So I mean, they had like an extra 15 minutes on all the other episodes they could have played with to flesh out the story more. To kind of show like more about like what Lucas had done with the original Gabe, because like I said, Gabe wasn't new to the school. Gabe had been there for years.
I thought he said he was new. In the episode when they came back from the caves, and I thought he was talking about how he was new. Yep, Arlo, I'll get you some in a second, okay?
Okay. Well, that would be the Lucas version of Gabe, though possibly even lying to Kinsey about it.
Right. Yeah. But he was obviously there for, well, no, because she said she used the key right after Rendell died. Or right after Rendell died, she used the key.
No, it was before he died, because remember that's how the Echo was in the well house and was able to call from the picture to Sam.
Oh yeah, yep, you're right.
So it was a few months before Rendell died.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I also thought Sam was going to play a bigger part, in the, because he's a ghost now, but I thought we were going to see him more at the end of, after the last after the 8th episode when he died, or was that no, it was the 6th episode he died in, wasn't it? So we didn't see him like the last 4 episodes of the wait, let me think. No, it was 7th episode he showed up and ended up getting killed. So We didn't see him in 8, 9, or 10. I thought he was going to be a factor somewhere in there, but I'm sure we'll see him in the next season.
Yeah, and the fact that he was a ghost, well, and maybe we, couldn't see him because if unless somebody else is a ghost, they're not going to see him either.
Right. That they could certainly do that at the somewhere in the next season. They could show like, well, this is why this happened, where he was influencing things somehow.
And clearly, Gabe still has the Anywhere key.
Yep.
Because
that was the other thing. Is like they find that bag of keys. They only take one of them out of there. Well, what the hell? Why did they take a whole
they took 3 of them, but I guess he had the Anywhere key and the Identity key on him at all times. He must have. So that he could change his identity whenever he wanted, and he could travel wherever he wanted.
Yeah, that makes
the rest of them he left in the bag because they got them all back except for those 2.
right.
And now with but the fact that that's another thing. If these keys whisper to the Locke kids, why aren't they whispering when Gabe comes around?
Well, they don't. They have not been shown to whisper when. I think except for the Omega key, none of them have been shown to whisper when they're in somebody's possession.
Well, the Omega key didn't whisper either, did it? I thought they found that it was whispering while it was in the urn of ashes.
No, when they were walking when they were going into the caves, it was whispering to Kinsey.
Oh, okay.
When she had her hands.
Okay.
So, but yeah, otherwise, none of them have whispered when they're in somebody's possession.
Okay.
I think they were just kind of whispering to be found.
Yeah, I thought there was something with the Locks where the Locks have power over them, and why? I wish they would really explain why she can't take them from the Locks.
Right, that was what I was wondering too. Is like because
I mean, did they create them?
If it was because she was a demon, it shouldn't have been, unless it was because they were the last living keepers of the key. But so maybe she couldn't have taken it from. No, she took it from Ellie too, right? So
yeah.
Interesting.
But so it's got to be something. And if when they do the season 2, which obviously they are, and we're going to end up covering it, I hope they go. I'd like to see them go back a little bit in time and explain the origin of the keys, where the keys came from, why the Locks are so important to protecting them. I want to know that kind of stuff. I want to know why those things happen before, because we're going to have to come up with another story, and I don't know how well just finding more keys is going to work.
Yeah, I that's certainly a possibility of that where what was I gonna? I was thinking, if see, I think there was only, like I said, I think there's only like 36 episodes of the actual comic series. So if they get past, if it's still a popular show and they've completed that story, maybe what they'll do is some kind of a prequel showing us like how the keys were made, like what happened, in the past with them, things like that.
Oh, I didn't realize this until I just read it here. I didn't realize that Bodhi put the matchstick key on the end of his lightsaber. I thought he just put some matches on there.
No, it was the matchstick key.
Yeah, I didn't realize, and it's not a fire key; it's a matchstick key. So,
right.
But yeah, I didn't realize that until I read it. The whole time I was thinking it was like he just taped some matches to the end of it.
No, how would that have worked?
I don't. I was wondering myself, but with the way things were going by that point, nothing was making sense anyway. It was once Ellie went and brought the key to Lucas, I was just at that point I didn't really analyze anything. I was like, all right, it's not going to make sense. Just go with it.
The one thing I do want to praise that final episode for is the scenes with the shadows and fighting the shadows with the lights was just great, absolutely fantastic. There was great drama, there was great timing in it, great cinematography. I loved everything, and great direction. I loved everything about that. Like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so of fighting the shadows in Key House.
Yeah, that was really well done. The other thing that I liked is how they wrapped up the whole thing about why Mark lit himself on fire. It's kind of amazing that he had to hide all the keys, and he was the only one that knew where all the keys were. And then we found out that the Omega key was actually inside Rendell's head, which is odd. And then the matchstick key he must have kept because he knew he'd have to someday kill himself to keep the secret of where the keys were.
Well, remember they were each keepers of some of the keys. So he had to have one more of them, didn't he? Let me think. He had the matchstick key.
No, he had the matchstick key, and then they gave him all of the rest of the keys to hide. Because Ren took the Omega and the Anywhere key, Rendell did, and Ellie took the Echo key and the Identity key, and then I don't remember what Voss took, but then they gave all the rest of the keys to Mark because Mark was the most trustworthy and he was going to hide them. So he actually had, God knows how many keys. There could have been dozens for all we know.
Right.
So, and he hid all of them except for the matchstick key, which he kept for himself. And it must have been because he knew someday he'd have to use it.
Right. Yeah. And it was cool to see. It was also cool to find out, like, why Duncan couldn't remember things and why his memories were in those plants.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few other things I wish had been fleshed out a little bit more so we kind of knew what was going on. But yeah, it was that is interesting to know that that's why Duncan couldn't remember any of the keys or any of the magic. But it didn't explain why his. I know they took that memory of Rendell killing Lucas out of his mind, but they didn't need to remove all the other keys. That's what, or all the other things, because if the magic, disappears with age. But the other thing they never really explained is that burn mark. How
No,
did
they did. They said that they said they gave the two to each other so they wouldn't forget.
Oh, is that because they said they figured out a way to help themselves remember, and that was going to be the other thing. Is I wish I would have known how they figured out how to help themselves remember.
Yeah, I'd like to know how they figured it out, but yeah, that's how they did it. So they probably used the matchstick key to burn themselves those things in there.
And then they could look at that mark and remember that way. Because right now we've got Tyler who's pretty close to being an adult.
Yep.
Is he going to forget in the next episode? Halfway through, he's going to forget all about the magic.
Well, they haven't defined like what the age is that you start losing. I mean, it could be 18, could be 21, could be 25. Who knows?
Yeah, true. I guess it all depends on Harry Potter. There's a few things I want explained. Is all I'm saying. There's just a few things, and I don't. Now that I know that they're coming out with a season 2, I actually, when you first mentioned this and we talked about it, I was thinking, hey, maybe I should check out these comics. But then when I saw that there was going to be a season 2, I don't want to ruin season 2 by reading the comics.
Yeah, that's true.
So I will, I'll get to that. I'll get to the comics after that. But you got anything else on this?
There was something else I was going to say, and I'm trying to think what it was. It was nice that that Eden, that they found a way to keep Eden kind of being the bitch that instead of helping them and being like friendly with him and helping them too.
Oh yeah.
There was something else I was thinking too that I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I mean it's really. I love the show. I wish it would wrapped up better, but I mean I really do love I really did love most of it. So
I don't think that I think what might have happened, and maybe I'm wrong, but the only thing I can think is that and like I said, I've read the comics, so I don't know, but the only thing I can think is that the reason it wrapped up this way was for a second season to be in mind.
Right, but I still think that even in the comics, I would have looked at that and go, "That was a really convoluted plan."
If that was the plan in the comics, it might have been rewritten for television to create a second season.
Possible.
I'm hoping that's what it was, and that wasn't the original story, because that is one of the worst plans I've ever seen.
Agreed.
To go through all of that work for all that time to get this key to get that black door open, to have the black door open, be standing there in front of the black door with it wide open, and still pretend that you're not this Echo
Right.
trying
Exactly.
to open the door. It just didn't make sense to me. Unless she can't control it, unless she's the one to use the key, but like you said, she could have, beaten everybody up, taken the key out of the keyhole, closed it, then reopened it, and then she'd be in control. It didn't make sense. It just logically did not make sense for the way it ended.
No, I mean, right. Unless, like you said, being a demon, she can't use the Omega Key. In which case, her plan, which would still make her plan make sense, because then, she would have been planning to have Ellie do it for her the entire time.
But she can't have Ellie do it because now Ellie's a demon too.
I know. I mean, before this plan, when she
Right.
thought Ellie was still going along with her.
Yeah, true.
So,
But that's the only thing that would make sense, that she can't physically use it.
right.
But then why is she looking for it, so bad? Like when she
Because she
was,
wants to the demons to take over the Earth. I'm assuming.
but when she was Lucas too, when she first got infected, 10 years earlier, or 20 years, whatever it was earlier, 24 years they said. Why wasn't she, why didn't, how was, because Lucas was looking for the Omega Key to open the door back then.
Right.
So what was it if he couldn't hold it? I'm just saying there's too many plot holes that they're not connecting the dots very well.
Yeah, and hopefully, like you said, hopefully they will in the second season. But even if not, I'm going to go along for the ride.
Yeah, I am too, because I love the story, I love the acting, I love the just the whole look and feel and vibe of the entire show. I loved everything about it. And like I said, 8.55 episodes was amazing.
We are next time around. We're going to be talking about a movie actually on Netflix.
Oh, what's that?
It's called The Last Days of American Crime.
Interesting.
It is. So it's about 2.5 hours. It's brand new on Netflix. Just came out like a week or two ago. So I thought we could take a break from TV shows and just cover a 2.5 hour movie this time around.
I think next time we do one of these two, we might want to throw in the introduction that there will be spoilers, because I didn't even think about that. I just jumped right into the ending.
Well, I mean, if you're listening to a review about a show, you kind of expect there to be spoilers, wouldn't you?
Well, you would hope so. But there are people out there that do non-spoiler type reviews, and I don't know. I'm watching the show.
That would last like 5 minutes.
If that. But
when that thing happened, that in that one place with that one guy, that was terrible.
Where that cool thing happened, and the stuff came out and did all this stuff, and things happened, and there was cool things.
Yeah.
Remember that part?
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, hopefully you are listening to us on YouTube. We're going to be doing this weekly for the time being while I get my life straightened out. So we'll be on, it sounds like every Monday for the next few weeks, reviewing half seasons and movies and things like that, stuff that we can fit in. Also, listen to us right here on this YouTube channel as well on Tuesday nights for Kingdom of Honor, where we take a look at independent, well, I guess we can't even really say independent wrestling anymore, but wrestling that is not WWE. We break it down to the best of our abilities. We talk about what's in the news, what's going on, what's happening. This week we're actually looking back at a TNA event from 2006. Was it Turning Point? No, not Turning
Final
Point.
Resolution.
Final Resolution from 2006. It was their first pay-per-view in January of 06, and there was some really cool things happening in it. We're going to talk about that tomorrow right here on this channel at 7:30 Central Time. Also, and then on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite goes off the air, we come on for an instant reaction to it. So, if you have a chance or haven't yet, hit the notification bell. Ring the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, because you don't want to miss those shows when we do go live. Also, our Patreon. It's a great way to support the show and help us out if you can. We really appreciate it. It's patreon.com/Kingdom of Honor. Any donation helps, but we do have a couple of different tiers. There's a $5 tier that encompasses all of our archives, literally every show that Shane and I have ever done together. And then there's also a $10 tier where we do a lot of exclusive shows, including the audio versions of this episode, which I guess this is audio as well, but this will be on there as well as something that we try to do at least. It depends on our motivation. Sometimes we get it in, sometimes we don't. But try to at least weekly put up a Patreon show where we break down something from wrestling's past.
At least monthly, I think you meant.
It's been monthly lately. Our goal was weekly, but it has been monthly lately, that's for sure. And then, of course, our Twitter. I'm at Regi Co-op. He's at Zanman, LOP. Best way to reach us is just look for the hashtag DAD or the hashtag KOH. It gets used on every tweet that I make.
Yep. And make sure you take care of yourselves out there in the really real world, especially in this time of COVID-19. Be good to each other.
I feel this coming, and I want to scream at you because it hurts me on the inside whenever you do this.
And remember that even Motley Crue has postponed their concerts, so you can't go to any public gatherings anymore, and it makes you just want to cry. I can't even go home sweet home anymore, Jeff.
Ugh. Okay, I didn't see it going there, but that was terrible.
Remember, it's never goodbye. It's just till next time.
All right. See you later.